doing? My name is Gene Sarah. I live in McKinney. I've lived there for the last 16 years. I'm a criminal attorney, like it says up there. I've been practicing criminal law for the last 12 years. But before we get into all that stuff, let me tell you about what's important to me. I have 3 priorities in my life: God, family, and community. So let me start with God. I'm a Christian. I accepted Christ when I was 16 years old, and I've been going to church ever since. I'm currently a member of Chestnut Chapel Fellowship Church in McKinney. They meet at the chapel on Chestnut Square in the historic section of McKinney. Ricky Hargrave is my pastor. He's also my campaign treasurer. My family. Here's my wife over here. I've married her for, it will be 20 years this August. We have 2 kids. My daughter's name is Samantha. She's homeschooled. She's a senior. She'll be going to college next year. She loves marine biology. If you want to know what a fish is, ask her. My son is the popcorn king. My son is a scout with Troop 303. A couple of years ago, he sold over $6,000 worth of popcorn. I'm very proud of that man. But for the last 25 years, I've helped out my community. When I was in college, I started out, I worked as a rec leader, as a lifeguard. I became a teacher. I coached youth sports, became an outdoor educator later. And when I moved here to McKinney, I continued my work working with youth. Once again, I worked with sports organizations, became an official, volunteered fishing, baseball, and basketball. When my kids got old enough, I coached like the kids downstairs, upwards basketball. I did some of that. McKinney Soccer Association, McKinney Baseball League, and McKinney Little League. My kids both participated in McKinney Youth Theater and Plano Children Theater. That's what I did. I helped out with the community. And let's go to the scout thing. I'm a scouter. I wasn't a scout when I was a kid. For the last 7 years, I've helped out with scouting. I'm currently a scoutmaster with Troop 303, and I lead young men to understand the scout oath and the scout law. These principles are very important to me, and I recite the scout oath and the scout law every time we have a meeting, because I follow those principles. But the important thing about the whole thing with scouting is that the organization gives back to the community. I help with Scouting for Food, which helps out the pantry here in McKinney. The Eagle projects that I help out with, they're helping out the entire community, help build and rebuild certain things in like Chestnut Square. That's what I've been doing the last 25 years. I've helped my community, and those are the 3 things that are most important to me. Now, I'm here also to talk to you about why I'm qualified for that job. Well, first of all, those things I just mentioned, I think that's an important qualification. I live here, my heart's here in Collin County. I think that's an important part of being a judge here. You know what your community is about. I'm a criminal attorney. I've been doing it for the last 12 years. I started out as a prosecutor in Denton County. I prosecuted thousands of cases. I was an assault family violence prosecutor for a little while. When I left the DA's office in Denton County, the year I left, I tried more cases than anyone in Denton County that year. I'm now working on up to 150 criminal jury trials, and that's not counting jury trials in JP or all the bench trials I did. That's just criminal jury trials altogether. I've handled thousands of cases as a prosecutor. I've handled thousands of cases as a defense attorney. So that's my experience as a criminal attorney. But what I want you to know is a judge not only has to know the law and be experienced in the courtroom, he's also got to know people. You can talk to every single person in that courthouse, in the Collin County Courthouse, whether it be a clerk, whether it be a bailiff, whether it be the security guards, whether it be the court reporters, whether it be the court coordinators, judges, or attorneys. They all know Gene Sarah. You know why they know Gene Sarah? Because I work with them, and I respect them, and I treat them with civility and dignity. That's who I am. You know, attorneys get a bad name because they're working really hard for their clients. You don't have to get ugly. That's what I'm known for. I don't need to get ugly to get the best deal for my client. And when I'm a judge, I'm going to make sure that every individual that comes into that courtroom gets their time, gets their chance to be heard, and gets the fair treatment they deserve. I will follow the Constitution of the United States. I will follow the rule of law, and I'll do everything I can to help Collin County. Thank you very much.
Here we are. The 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution guarantees equal treatment under the law to all citizens. Yet increasingly in our judicial system, the concept of social justice allows for members of certain groups to be treated differently from members of other groups. In your courtroom, will justice be blind, or will you apply social justice considerations to your decisions, and why? Gene, would you start, please?
All right, first of all, let's begin with the Constitution of the United States can be followed in the courtroom that I'm in. But second of all, keep in mind every time a judge hears a case and decides to make some sort of ruling or some sort of judgment or some sort of punishment, he's going to hear every single piece of evidence that's presented. That includes a situation where you have a first-time offender or a guy who's been down the road 3 or 4 different times. So when you say social justice, I think that's what you're talking about. Everybody's going to be treated fairly. Everybody will be treated based upon what evidence is presented. And guess what the prosecutor gets to do every time he comes to court? He gets to tell you, he's been arrested for this, 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 and this. Or the defense attorney can say, this kid's never been in trouble before in his life. That's the best way I can answer it. Thank you.
Again, to all three of you, what is unique about your experience and background for this particular job? What is unique about your experience?
All right. County Court at Law number 2 handles Class A and Class B misdemeanors and some appellate Class Cs. Who commits Class A and Class B misdemeanors? 17-year-olds to 30-year-olds. They're the young people in our community. And unfortunately, they've made a mistake in their life. They're going in the wrong direction. What have I been doing the last 25 years? I've been working with young people to try to change them and try to help them go in the right direction. That's what's unique about me. I've got a life full of experience as a teacher, as an educator, as a youth leader, working with young people. Thank you very much.
Politicians make promises all the time. How do we know that we can hold you accountable for all promises you make as a county court at law judge? Gene, would you start off, please?
I'm not sure I'd like being called a politician. You know, currently I'm a businessman, I'm a sole practitioner, and I work very hard at what I do. The only promise I can give to you is I will follow the law and I will work hard every day. I expect to be at the courthouse at least by 8 o'clock. I expect to be at the courthouse at least until 5 o'clock. You know, as a former prosecutor, I remember being in court until past 6 o'clock and trying cases. If that's what needs to happen, that's what I'll do. As a politician, I'll do what I'm asked to do. I will do my job. Thank you very much.
It says, the next question, that Collins city judge was recently convicted of corruption and given probation. Do each of you agree with that decision?
I agree with both Barnett and Ms. Ramage. Yes, commenting on a case like that, I believe, is a violation of judicial conduct. But let me just say this. I believe that particular case, after the verdict came out, it was an agreed plea. The prosecutor had something to do with what that particular judge got, as well as the judge accepting that plea bargain agreement. What I want to tell you is, it's a tenet of this group, personal responsibility. If you've committed a crime, you're guilty of that crime, you need to pay for that crime. Thank you very much.
How would you deal with an attorney or litigant who lies or abuses the process when you also depend on them for re-election?
All right. Right. First of all, an attorney is an officer of the court. When he goes to court and he does not tell the truth, he's in an official proceeding. He is committing a felony offense if he lies in court. It's called aggravated perjury. How do I feel about that? I think I just said it a few moments ago. Personal responsibility. You commit a crime, you're guilty of that crime, you pay for that crime. Simple as that.